What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Another day, another signing in through the doors at Hotspur Way. We have got so much to talk about today, but let's start off with the biggest news of the day. It is Omar Marmoush Day here at Tottenham Hotspur, and I cannot be happier. In before the Newcastle game as well, he'll be available for selection come the weekend, Saturday 5:30. But Omar Marmoush has been announced as a Tottenham Hotspur player. How are you feeling?
Come on, absolutely delighted. In time for the weekend as well, against the team that he usually does score against when he does come up against them. So absolutely delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm buzzing. After we got the Savio cameo yesterday, I should correct myself, Savio cameo yesterday, off the bench, to the excitement of all the Spurs fans, I'm hoping for a similar impact from Marmoush on Saturday. We've just needed some quality in the forward line, and I think Marmoush is full of it, and I can't wait.
You know what? Cast your mind back a number of years. You saw a tweet from Mido saying, I told Spurs to sign Salah. They didn't listen. Look what he's doing now. Now go and sign Omar Marmoush, Tottenham. We still didn't listen, but now he's here. And, if we would have listened to Mido and signed Salah, who knows what could have happened.
Exactly.
Salah on the right, Sonny on the left, Harry Kane up top.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
But now we do have Omar Marmoush. Interesting hearing him speak, actually, because he says he's not a striker. He's a left winger. But I do think he's come to play striker.
Who, Marmoush said that?
No, Mido.
Yeah, Mido said that, yeah. I think so. I think he's coming to play in the central areas. I think that's where he did his best work for Frankfurt, kind of in a front two, off the main striker, mainly Ekitike it was at the time. So I think that's kind of the role he's going to play at Tottenham. Obviously, we've got Savio, we've got Tell, we've maybe getting another one with Gakpo, we've got Kudus. So I think the wide areas at the moment should well be covered. It'll be interesting maybe if we don't get Gakpo. What happens? Does Marmoush play some minutes out wide on the left and maybe Savio on the right with Solanke up top? But I think the plan right now, given the fact that we're chasing Gakpo quite hard, I think is to play Marmoush through the centre, and I think that would be the perfect position for him. And I think him either linking up with Solanke or linking up with whoever the number 10 is, I think he's going to cook. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's a mouth-watering prospect, whoever they link him up with, whether it's him just behind a Dom Solanke, whether it's him alongside James Maddison, whether it's him alongside of Mateus Fernandes. I just think it's all mouth-watering, all those different prospects. But let's go and see how Spurs did announce it. So let's bring that up. And if you just scroll down to the first one. Yeah, here we go. From Cairo to North London, Omar Marmoush, welcome to the Spurs family. So, we got a few inklings, didn't we, that Egypt Spurs were going to be involved in this announcement, and here they are.
There's a few rumours. I think they might have posted something kind of breaking the news. Didn't kind of hit mainstream news that they were doing it, but if people paying attention, they would have seen that they posted something on some forum about being involved in the announcement video. So here they are. Absolutely, it's a brilliant video. It's lovely, isn't it?
Your story started here too.
I think Spurs have absolutely nailed these videos all summer. They really have. I think every single one has hit.
And now it's brought you to North London.
Definitely, he looks great in lily white. I was half hoping the video would open with Ghali chucking his shirt down and Marmoush picking it up. I thought that would have been something to behold. I think missed a trick there. I think.
Yeah, I agree. They did miss a trick there, to be fair.
Or it could have been Mido, but obviously they went with Cairo Spurs, all Egypt Spurs.
I'll tell you what, if Mido's debut is anything to go by.
Absolutely. That's one of the best debuts we've ever seen in a Tottenham shirt.
Yeah.
So hopefully Marmoush can follow suit. It's a lovely video.
Yeah, so it was that, and then was the statement on the website. We're delighted to announce the signing of Egypt international forward Omar Marmoush on a season-long loan. And if we just open that up, it's already open there for you. The title says, Ahlan wa sahlan, welcome in Arabic. Omar Marmoush arrives on loan. Omar joins from Manchester City, and the deal includes an obligation to make the move permanent next summer. Omar said, it feels amazing to be here. I'm so excited to get started with the team, and I can't wait to meet the fans. Tottenham is one of the biggest clubs in England, if not the world, and the project was very attractive to me. I've spoken to the head coach. I love what he had to say, and I'm sure our passion for the game will go very well together. Johan Lang said, Omar Marmoush is a quality player and his arrival represents a statement of our intent. He has demonstrated that he can perform at the highest level, and we believe he can play a major role in what we want to achieve in the coming years. We are delighted to welcome Omar to the club and look forward to seeing him make a significant contribution as we continue to build a strong squad to realise our ambitions. De Zerbi said, Omar is exactly the kind of player we want at this club, ambitious, hungry and determined to make a difference. He has incredible attacking quality, but what I also love is his desire to improve and to win. He brings pace, intelligence and real threat in front of goal, and I believe he can take our attacking play to the next level. And then it's just a bit about his past. But you know, I think finally at Spurs, we've got a killer in front of goal.
Yeah.
Finally, because we've all been craving that since Harry Kane has left, and I think this guy's going to bring that.
Yeah, obviously not quite Kane level, but you look at the strikers that we've had. Obviously, we had Sonny for a season up front, but you look at Solanke, you look at Richarlison, the strikers we've had since Kane has left on a more regular basis, and they just don't have that, first of all, the killer instinct and that brilliant ball striking in front of goal. We're just so used to Solanke and Richarlison just mishitting shots, not getting clean strikes away.
Getting injured while shooting.
And getting injured while shooting. Well, Marmoush is going to be completely different to that. He knows how to strike through a ball. He can strike from distance. He can create chances for himself. He can score from difficult angles. We're finally going to have someone who's a threat. Like, if he's not exactly straight through on goal, he's maybe on a difficult angle on the left or right hand side, he can strike through it. You can't just let him shoot. Whereas a fellow like Solanke and Richarlison, opposition's new, unless it's like directly in the 6-yard box, they're not a massive threat to score their goal. And Marmoush is going to be very different. He's going to give us options from different angles. I think on the breakaway now, all of a sudden, we've gone from a team, when we spoke about last season, we did have a severe lack of pace in the transition, and Frank was obviously trying to play a very transitional kind of game. And now we've got Savio, but hopefully when Kudus comes back, and we've got Marmoush now as a transitional threat, and we're going to be tough to handle if teams are going to come at us. If we can play through that press, if we can use our press baiting and our build-up to play through them, when those three players are running at you, it's going to be a sight to behold, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, and I can't wait to see them all link up in action.
Absolutely, and you even add Matty Tell into that as well, because you know, we were speaking on the watch along last night about, you know, what kind of different variations we can go, and if we go against the high pressing team, we could play Tell and Marmoush up front with two wingers as well, and I think that would be so dangerous against kind of high pressing teams on the transition. I think he's going to bring so much to Tottenham, so much, and I have enjoyed watching him play for Man City, albeit very rarely. I have enjoyed watching him a lot more through the middle than opposed to on the left, but also him being on the left, and what Mido was saying, that he's a left winger and not a striker, maybe it is because of the way Man City use their left wingers. We saw they didn't get the best out of Savio, and I think that is why. That is because they use their wingers very regimented, and maybe that didn't help Omar Marmoush either.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Obviously, he kind of played most of the time as like a support striker to Haaland. And obviously, when he first joined, those first like few months when he first came to the Premier League, he was brilliant, wasn't he? And scoring lots of goals and scoring some brilliant goals. But when I think Haaland got injured that year, and then he was playing up in the 9, and it didn't really suit him. And then the following season, he actually started the season in the team, and you know, things just didn't go quite right. And then obviously Cherki and Foden were taking the mantle, and he just kind of found himself out of the team, and he was never going to surpass Haaland. And Doku just offers something very different to what Marmoush offers on the left-hand side. So he just found himself in a very difficult position and getting lack of game time. Then the less game time he was getting, the more unhappy he was getting, because he came to Man City to be, you know, one of their stars, and he must have been frustrated with that situation. So I think new environment, new project, new team, fresh energy. I think it's going to make the world of difference for him. I also think maybe, you know, with what Mido is saying, him on the left, maybe we could maybe see that on occasion. And also, I think it kind of gives us a bit more flexibility if, let's say, De Zerbi does want to go with the back three. I think him in like an inside left forward role would be really brilliant. I think that's a role that could really suit him. And I think that gives us more tactical flexibility as well.
Yeah, and also not just that, but to be just extremely fluid throughout the game, where everyone is kind of comfortable in every area of the pitch. You've seen Savinho or Savio, you know, comfortable on the right or the left. You've got Marmoush comfortable in the central areas on the left. You've got Tell comfortable on the left and through the central areas. You've got Kudus comfortable in the 10 and comfortable on the right. You know, you've got so many different players that are comfortable in so many different variations of the front three. It's going to make us like a nightmare to deal with because you never know which player is going to pop up in which area of the pitch. It's going to be a bit of a sight to behold.
And you'll see the starting 11, but you're not going to be 100% sure who's playing where ever, especially for the opposition, and especially if we get Gakpo on top of that. You know, he's another versatile one. So I think that's obviously the idea from De Zerbi. Get high quality players who are versatile, can play multiple positions and offer different things. And if we can get Gakpo over the line, I think that is our front line sorted, especially for this season and hopefully going forward. I think you're adding so much quality. You're adding goals, adding dribbling ability, adding chances created. I think it's such an exciting time. And we've needed these attacking signings. Getting through the door, this double signing from Man City couldn't be more exciting. I think it's up there with probably some of the most exciting double deals we've ever had. And I'm absolutely delighted. I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. And I wonder where he will start. If he does start on Saturday, obviously that's still to be determined. We'll hear from De Zerbi tomorrow. Maybe he'll give us an inkling if he's in line to start or not.
I think he'll start on the bench.
Yeah, most likely. But I wonder when he does come into the team what the idea is in the immediate, with obviously Maddison out for a couple of weeks. Is the idea to play him with Solanke? Is it going to be him in the 9? Obviously, it depends what games are coming up and kind of what kind of approach we're going to go with. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what the plan is for him in the immediate future, where we see him most of the time lining up this season.
I think it will be in the 9, alongside. I think the idea of the whole team is to play him and James Maddison together. You know, Maddison in the 10 and Omar Marmoush up front. But obviously, Maddison's not going to be playing for the near future. So I think we'll see different variations. I think you'll see Omar Marmoush or maybe Mateus in the 10. I think the most likely thing is probably going to be him and Solanke in the same team together. Which will be great. If Solanke can bring that form which he showed yesterday, that fighting spirit, that hold-up ability, then I think that is a mouth-watering prospect.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect combination. You got Solanke, who's big, strong, can hold the ball up and lay it off to oncomers, and then you got Marmoush just picking the right moment to take the ball, find that little bit of space and get the shot off. And I think that could be a really good partnership, and that could be something that teams really struggle to handle. You got that little thing going, and then you get Savio on the wing, and hopefully Kudus when he's back, just like causing trouble, causing havoc with their fullback, and it just means that teams are going to have to double up on those wingers. And then it's going to leave spaces for hopefully the players inside. One thing I do worry about, and I hope we don't see it, and I think hopefully De Zerbi is smart enough to not do it, is I don't think it works with Gallagher behind him. Because
does it work for Gallagher behind anyone?
I would say the only way it would work with Gallagher in the 10 is if you've got Solanke in front of him, because Solanke can hold up and then Gallagher can kind of make those late runs into the box, and maybe that's something that could prove a bit fruitful. But I think Marmoush needs clever players around him, and he needs players who he can link with, and I just don't think Gallagher's that. And I think Gallagher in the 10, I think we'll see a lot of similar problems that we had against Brentford if we're having Marmoush up front and Gallagher in the 10, just no ability to hold the ball, the ball just continually coming back at us. So we've got to make sure that we're preventing that.
Can we just please sell him from now to the end of the window?
We do need to sell players, don't we?
Solve all of our issues if we were to sell him and make a late move for someone else. In terms of the announcement, we'll keep going with the way Spurs continue to announce it. They tweeted this out saying Omar is lily white, with a lovely picture with a lovely smile of Omar Marmoush. Can we get that up? Omar is lily white.
Down.
He's wrong.
Yep. There you go.
And then they revealed his number. Number 22 he's going to wear at Tottenham. And I remember being very excited for a signing that was also announced as number 22, Robbie Keane from Leeds. Yep. And he turned out to be an extremely good signing for us. Let's hope he can follow suit.
I kind of find him, I think he's kind of like similar to Keane in a way. I think Keane was like a bit... He relied on his
box of tricks, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he kind of relied on his brains a little bit more. But in terms of the kind of position they pick up, he's kind of like a striker without being a pure striker, a bit similar to Robbie Keane. Likes to drop back a little bit and and combine as well. I can see him kind of having a similar impact, I hope. Obviously, we had a signing in January who picked up the 22, and he's now changed to the 8, and that wasn't particularly great. Let's hope it's he doesn't follow Conor Gallagher's impression. But I like it. It suits him.
Yeah. Look, I think that will change next season, or maybe even, I don't know when you can change numbers, but the number 9 could be opening very soon. So
Yeah.
I think Omar Marmoush could end up taking that. But look, the signing is here. Omar's here, and I can't wait to see him on the pitch. And now, when you look at the summer business as a whole, it is just crazy. It's beyond our wildest imaginations.
I mean,
the transfer window.
Cast your mind back to beginning of the summer, and we were talking about who kind of players we can sign. And whenever the name kind of Marmoush came up, we all just kind of dismissed it as just too unrealistic, didn't we?
Yeah.
And obviously now we're kind of, as the transfer window's gone on, we've gotten, and Marmoush has been heavily linked, we've gotten used to the idea that he's coming and we're signing him, and obviously it's great. But because we've been speaking about him for so long, we're so used to it. I don't think we remember. A few months ago, we were like, we're never getting Marmoush. Obviously, he's not coming to Tottenham.
I remember a tweet from Paul O'Keefe, people asking about Marmoush, and he was like, "Yeah, these top players, they demand top salaries. Like, I think you're in dreamland if you think we can sign Omar Marmoush."
Exactly.
And here he is.
And here we are.
Because that was the one thing we all said. You know what, Marmoush could be willing to join here, but those wages, like Spurs, never going to pay those wages. 300 grand a week, and I don't know what we've paid him, so I'm sure that will come out very, very soon. But you're looking at the transfer business, right? Andy Robertson, Marcus Senesi, Jan-Paul Van Hecke, Mateus Fernandes, Sandro Tonali, Savio, Omar Marmoush, potentially one or two more still to come in, and obviously Martin Dubravka as well. I mean, this transfer window is beyond all our wildest imaginations. It really is.
It's been phenomenal.
In terms of before they were linked to us, which ones did you actually think we would get?
Shit.
Like
Wrong
Robertson, obviously free transfer. So the free transfers, you thought, you could definitely get over the line. Savio from last summer was definitely a possibility. But Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, and Omar Marmoush, I didn't think we could get.
I mean, this is what I mean about we forget how we were like. So even cast your mind back to May of the end of last season, and we were thinking about the kind of transfers we would when we were talking about them. I remember talking about Senesi, saying we got no chance. He's going to go Chelsea. He's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, but Senesi was confirmed.
I'm talking about overall when we first started being linked with these players. What we were thinking. I remember when we first got linked with Senesi, we said no chance. When we first got linked with Van Hecke, we were saying unlikely. He'll probably go. Maybe Liverpool will be in for him. Maybe someone else. He's probably not going to come to Tottenham. When we said Fernandes, he's definitely going United. When we said Tonali, he's going City or Arsenal. Every single transfer, pretty much, when we first got linked, we were like, we're not going to get them. Yeah, apart from Robertson, who we that one was one where we were pretty confident on. But even the ones right at the beginning of the window, we were thinking unlikely they're ever going to come to Tottenham. I think Savio, we always kind of knew there was an opportunity because of what happened last summer, and he's always been desperate to come. But I remember last summer we were, very excited about it and didn't think it would happen. Obviously, it didn't happen, but it's now gone over the line this summer. Marmoush at the beginning of the window were like, no chance this is going to happen. He's probably going to go to Champions League club, big wages. He ain't coming to Tottenham. I was watching last night just a few of our early transfer videos to see what we're talking about when I saw one of the early videos about Gakpo, and we were saying, this ain't true. We ain't getting Cody Gakpo. He ain't coming to Tottenham, and we could very well end up with him as well. So I think when we sit here right now, because we talk about it every day, and we're streaming and we're online, and you get used to the idea that these players are coming, and obviously these transfers are so drawn out, and they go on, these sagas go on for so long. By the end of it, I'm not saying we're not excited because I'm buzzing for Marmoush, but the surprise of the fact that they're going to be coming to Tottenham obviously wears away, doesn't it? Because you'd be speaking about it every day. But we forget when we first started talking about pretty much all of these transfers, we all thought no chance we're getting any of them. And I think we've done absolutely brilliantly to get all these names through the door, considering what's been going on over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I don't really think there's been another transfer window obviously there's not been another transfer window like this, but in terms of the manner in what you're saying, like other transfers, it's always been like, yeah, we could get through the door because they're not as high profile as these kind of players. And to be nearly relegated and to pull off a transfer window like this, everyone involved has to get so much credit. It's actually like mad.
Yeah.
It's mad to think about. We were a game away from getting relegated last summer.
And to be fair, it sounds like De Zerbi's really spearheaded this summer. It sounds like he's just been at the centre of it. He's been calling everyone. He's been identifying the players he truly wants as the first choice players as well. Every player makes a point of saying what a brilliant conversation they've had with De Zerbi and how passionate he is and how they love how he sees football and they're really going to get along. So I think he's been the driving force. Obviously, there's been, I mean, you don't really hear Johan Langer's name anymore, do you?
Well, you do in every announcement.
No, I'm talking about among like on social media or on our WhatsApp groups. Like no one's going on at him at the moment because
the only time you hear his name is in transfer announcements and when De Zerbi talks about him saying he's doing such a great job. But in terms of fans, no one's talking about it.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like we don't, at the beginning of the summer, it was like, get him out, him, Vinay. It was like the biggest thing in the world. We had to get them out by any means necessary, right? Were people ready to start protesting again, all this kind of stuff? You don't really hear his name anymore because we got the business. He's got the business done. It doesn't really matter who's sporting director and who's whatever. What matters is the business we do. And I think, I don't think if De Zerbi wasn't here, I don't know if Lang would be capable himself of doing the business we've done. I think De Zerbi's been front and centre of it, and I think he's kind of taken the reins this summer.
Rafi Mawson has had
as well.
A big impact in what we've done this summer. Like, can we get these two deals over the line with Man City if Rafi Mawson's not at this football club? I don't know. I think he's had an integral part to play in both these deals with his contacts that he has at Man City.
Yeah, and I just think his wealth of experience with contracts and how to structure them and obviously we've overpaid for a lot of players this summer, or arguably overpaid for a lot of players, but I think him looking at the finances, also with the sales as well. I think the way he structured a lot of these deals, I think he's done it with real purpose, and I think he's done it brilliantly. I mean, you could argue we've paid, overpaid for a lot of these players, but then you look at Fernandes and you look at him compared to like what United are playing with Santos and Tielemans, and there's Santos and Tielemans. You're like, it's worth overpaying for some of these players, and hopefully when it comes to Savio and Marmoush and some of the other players, they're going to be all worth the money. So what is our total at the moment then of outlay?
Don't know. You got to work it out.
So what?
You got to work it out. It's a lot of numbers to add. What was that? Nine signings through the door.
Yeah, 52 Van Hecke, 92 for Tonali, 85 for Fernandes, 50 for Marmoush, 85 for Savio. So that's 364 million we have spent.
That's nuts.
And then we've got in, how much we got in? About, what was it? About 100, it was about nearly 200, wasn't it?
I think it was over 200.
Tottenham.
I think it was over 200, just about. It's around about the 200 ballpark figure.
But it's also like once you add in all the add-ons for what we're getting in and all the 20% sell-ons and everything, could be, the net spend isn't going to be crazy, is it?
At the end of the day, you can't guarantee a 20% sell-on.
According to Transfermarkt, our outlay has been 354 million euros. And our incoming's 165 million euros.
So I don't think that takes into account add-ons.
Well, it doesn't take into account, first of all, Dragoshin, they've put him on loan when he's got an obligation for 20 million.
And Marmoush, they've put him on loan as well.
So it's really about 405 million euros. And it's about 185 million euros add-on.
But what's the fee for Will Lancashire?
Says 11 million.
Exactly, so it doesn't add in add-ons to that.
Well, they haven't added... add-ons for Savio either.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've basically spent around 200 million net.
And more to come, hopefully, but there will be more outgoings as well. So, look, like I said, just the credit that go to the club, because we're the first, we bash the club when they need to be bashed, but right now they deserve so much credit for what they've done this summer. I've never quite seen anything like this. Not only just because we nearly got relegated last year, but just generally. When have you ever seen a club rebuild their first 11 like Spurs have done this summer?
Yeah, the only worrying thing about that is whenever anyone signs as many players as we do, it very rarely works immediately. It takes time.
I'm under no illusion that it's going to work immediately. I think it'd be stupid to think it's going to work immediately. You know,
you're building a team.
Exactly. You know, it takes time for these things to gel. So I'm under no illusion that, you know, we're going to have to go through. We're going to have to go through it in the next month or two, at the very minimum.
Fox on the Hill print says, according to our graphic, it's about 181 net million.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a crazy outlay, is it? At the moment, it's not like.
I mean, we've spent similar in previous windows, haven't we?
Yeah.
In terms of net.
Yeah, and you know, you hear the money back every talk. You hear Talk Sports, Sky Sports every time they mention Tottenham and obviously the defeat to Brentford. It's like they spent 400 million and look at the performance. They've got a Troy Deeney saying they spent 350 million and they've gotten worse. What have they been doing all summer? And I don't think these guys
when they say
rage baiting.
We spend 400 million, it's because we have spent that much money, but they're not talking about sales or taking that into account. They're saying we have added 400 million worth of talent to this team and we've had a poor performance. That's what they're saying.
I understand that, but I think people don't take into account how much we've gotten in. I understand we've added that amount of money to the squad, but we haven't just spent that money like purely. Like we've also got quite a lot back as well. So our transfer spending isn't. People basically have this narrative that our transfer spend is like crazy. It's completely like, where are they getting this money? It's completely out there. Like it's nuts what we're spending. And I understand because of the fees that we are signing players for, it can look like that. But in terms of the total outlay, in terms of net spend, it's just not crazy. It's not.
And there'll be more. There'll be more fees coming in as well. Pape Matar potentially going out the door. Richarlison could be going out the door. Other players could be going out the door as well. So I think there's still so much more activity to go with less than a week now to go till the end of the transfer window. So more business still to do. Quite crazy. But yeah, the transformation of this squad has been nothing short of fantastic. And massive credit to everyone involved. So Omar Marmoush is here. How many more are we going to bring in?
I can't see any more than one. I think one max. I mean, I just don't think we have the squad space to bring in any more than that. So unless we're getting some even more surprising sales, I think, you know, one that we thought might go with Bergvall looks like he's staying. So if he stays, then I can't see anyone else going. You know, we got Richie, Sarin, and Kota, Takai, and apart from those three, who else is actually going to leave? Like we spoke about the keeper situation, you know, yesterday in the update, but it's like, how could we sign Martinez? Where's he? Who are we going to drop out of the squad? We're going to drop Dubravka out. We just signed him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess we didn't think we'd sell half the players that we sold already this summer. We didn't think we'd bring in half the players we brought in. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a surprise, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm not expecting any more in, to be honest. You know, I said Omar Marmoush will probably be our last signing this summer, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a surprise. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more than a surprise.
Well, I think we all know who our target is. I think if we don't get Gakpo, which we'll talk about, I don't know who we pivot to, if we do pivot at all. Or maybe we just wait till January.
Yeah. Look, we'll get into all that a bit later on in the stream. But massive credit goes out to Tottenham Hotspur.